Yeah. So hi everyone. So yeah, weekly we've been meeting, and recently we made this into English so that other people also will be able to join and understand. So the main agenda or the main theme of this weekly meetup is we chit chat in the evening and we learn something. So sometimes it may be technically too much, and sometimes it may be lightly technical, but always we just it's like a weekend chat. Something cannot be started, and it's been going for a year. Today we have a special guest who is Hari. So Hari, we've known from Tamilboomi for last 5 years. He actually learned big data in our Tamilboomi, and before that itself he was a trainer in AWS, and he has now been working as a trainer and working as a full time also in a company. And he's a cloud architect, and he's a multi cloud architect, and he wants to share his knowledge on the area of Azure. So in Azure, he wants to share why it is different and why people should learn Azure. So that's what his today's topic is. And yeah, without wasting much of our time, let me introduce Hari. So Hari ji, please, thanks for accepting invite to give a session. So, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, G. So, it's pleasure to talk to in front of these many people. First of all, very good evening. I am appreciating people. Yeah, I think I went on mute. So people who works in IT, right? It's difficult to spend weekend. Only couple of days you are getting week off every week. It's hard to spend in every week. So I'm appreciating all your effort. You all know today's topic is all about how Azure is different from other cloud providers, and what is the job opportunity with Azure. That is what the discussion which we have planned. Okay. So before that, Armugam introduced about me, myself, Hari. Totally right. I have around 12 plus years of experience in IT. Not only Azure, I have a good exposure with AWS, GCP, DevOps, Kubernetes, Python scripting, all these technologies is the area of my expert. Okay. So with that, I'll just started. Any people, if you have any questions related to today's discussion, or if you have any specific, um, um, out of this box, you have any other doubt regarding Azure about your career, whatever, feel free to ask. So we can make this as a good, discussion. Okay. So more or less, taking this as a training, I want to make this as a discussion, by the way. Okay. So let me get it started. Why? Okay. So there is when come to jobs, right? We have various designations. When come to jobs, right? We have various designations. People, even fresher can start. Okay, even fresher can start with the Azure knowledge. People who has knowledge with 0 to 3 years of experience, right? They are fall under L1. Okay, L1 team. So their designation will be somewhere like I would say associate. Azure or cloud engineers. They mostly will be fall under monitoring team. They are mostly fall under creating tickets, monitoring the critical servers, working on monitoring tools. That level of work they will get. And the people who has 4 to 6 years of experience, they fall under L2 team actually. L2 team mean they'll be literally work like a Azure engineer or cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, something like that. Their designation will be something like that. The L2 engineer, right? Mostly they will be works for a organization like somewhere like implementing change activity. You will be work like SME, okay, subject matter expert. You'll be working like a SME. You will write down scripting, okay. You will work on developing automation. You will work on some DevOps tools. All those things, right? You will do, okay. Then come to people who has 7 to 10 years of experience, they will be fall under L3 team. Okay, they are literally call it as a senior cloud engineer, cloud or DevOps engineer, senior cloud DevOps engineer or cloud architect. Okay, this will be their designation. What is their role? So to designing the cloud environment, what service we need to use, cost cutting, how we can ensure that lesser billing on every month, And apart from that, designing the entire infrastructure, working for the connectivity, working for the security, migrations, all those things, planning, everything will be taken care by this cloud architect or senior engineer in the project. Okay. The people who has 10 plus years of experience in Azure environment. So there is nothing like a L3, no, nothing more than like L3. So I'm putting L3 plus. They are calling it as a cloud consultant. Okay. Cloud consultant. So anyone know what is the role of cloud consultant?
You can unmute and speak also now. We've given the.
What is the role of cloud consultant would be? What do you guys think?
They will just consult you.
Very good.
No, I always have a doubt actually. What the consultant will do? They just speak or something like that, or they just give architecture like, okay, this is how. Let's say somebody wants to use the cloud, they will give the entire roadmap, something like that.
Yeah, exactly correct. They are almost close to the answer. Basically the responsibility of cloud architect or senior engineer, as I said, they will design a Azure cloud. They will take care of security of the Azure cloud. They are taking care of connectivity, end-to-end connectivity of Azure cloud and other resources, billing, cost cutting, all those things they are taking care. Okay, within Azure. When come to cloud consultant, right? Initially, their primary role is to talk to clients. Primary role is to talk to clients. Apart from that, they should be a multi-cloud expert. They should know how Azure can communicate with AWS. They should know how Azure can communicate with on-prem. What is the connectivity? How we need to establish the connectivity from Azure to AWS? What is the connectivity we need to establish from Azure to on-prem? How we can ensure the security? Where we can save the cost? Which are the resources I need to deploy in Azure? Which are the services and resources I need to deploy in AWS? All those decisions will be taken care by your cloud consultants. Which DevOps tool is preferred for our environment? Whether I should go with the Terraform or I should go with the ARM, whether I should use Ansible or I can go with the Puppet, whether I can prefer to go Jenkins or I can go with Azure DevOps pipeline. So these kind of decision taken and multi-cloud functionality, all those things will be comes under the cloud consultant scope. Once he familiarizes with all those things, he will be approaching client whenever new project comes in. He will understand their infrastructure first. He will communicate internal KT to the team, whoever resides. Makes sense. So now, whatever the experiences I mentioned, 0 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 10, 10 years. These all not the experience in cloud or Azure. This will be our overall experiences, guys. Okay. Maybe you would have started your career. Even I'll honestly tell, I said 12 years of experience, right? First year I worked as at 2012, I believe I started my career. 2012, I started my career as a Xerox printer service engineer. You guys will not believe. You guys are heard about there's a Xerox company, right? Yeah. So that printer service engineer, I was literally started my career actually. So in that, right, in that slowly, step by step, we have increased, our level of knowledge and we have changed the project and, everything. So whatever the experience I mentioned, not specific to Azure or any cloud, this will be our overall, this will be our overall experiences. Okay. Why I'm telling like that? Even if you take I recently saw one job recruitment from HR, one of the company, which became very, very much viral. I don't know, you guys are noticed that. There is a job requirement the HR has mentioned is the candidate should have a 10 plus year experience in Kubernetes. The candidate should have 10 plus year experience in Docker, Terraform, the candidate should have a 13 plus years of experience in Azure. Like many things, the expectation is it was very huge actually. Simply there's a command is the technology itself not invented in that particular year. How come the candidate will have a 13 plus years experience? That's how it ended. So their expectation is very huge. So whatever the year of experience I mentioned here, right? That is your overall career experience. No need to misunderstand with Azure. So if you guys are having 6 years experience, imagine you will be fall under Azure L2 team. You will fall under Azure L2 team. If you guys are having 9 years experience, you will be fall under Azure L3 team. So you will be playing a role as a cloud architect, which means wherever you go for an interview, compare your overall experience. This should be your designation you are attending your interview. This should be your designation you are attending the interview. If you guys who have a 10 plus years of experience, the clients, the company's expectation, they will treat you as a cloud consultant. So you should be having a strong enough knowledge to compete with all these technology what I'm selecting here. Okay. So when you are preparing for Azure, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So let's say you started your career as Xerox service, but let's say I have 5 years of experience in BPO and I want to switch career to IT. So I just need to start learning Azure services and that's it. And I can come into Azure, like how it works.
Very good question. When you have a 5+ years of experience with the BPO, okay, now what you know, you are fall under the category of this L2 team. So what you need to do, you have to start learn Azure first thing, but not in the academic way. Okay, academic way in the sense there are 2 different things are there. One is training, another one is KT. KT, all of you should aware of knowledge transfer. What does mean by KT? If you go and join in any particular project, right, there will be a senior person in the project or team leader will be in the project. He'll be giving the knowledge transfer about that project. Hey, this is my client. My client is Unilever. This is Azure. They have all their services. Mumbai region, they have resources. US region, they have resources. These kind of issues we will frequently face. If this issue come, this is the solution. All the solution documentation available in this repository. This is all the automation we are using. This is how we will give the KT, knowledge transfer. But straight away, if you take training side, that will be academic way. Academic way means if you take YouTube channels and all, many Azure related contents are there. What is the difference is, if you take that content, right, they will explain you how to create virtual machine. Next finish, he will explain. How to create VNet, net virtual networking, next, all those things he will teach. But the people who has 5 years of experience, who working in BPO or any other, okay, or it could be any other sector, any other, industry. If you want to switch your career to Azure, if you fall under any one of the category, what you need to know, you need to learn the Azure concept, no doubt about it. In addition to that, you should be knowing about real-time projects. What does mean by real-time projects? See, last 5 years you worked on BPO or different sector, okay. If you wanted to switch your career to Azure straight away, people won't accept you to switch your career directly into Azure. So you need to make yourself as eligible for that. I mean, if you are fitting into this category, you will be going to work in the role of SME or Azure engineer or cloud engineer or DevOps engineer in Azure platform. So you have to learn the real-time projects. If you are working in live project, what will be your client requirement? When you are preparing yourself, when you are preparing to change your career, the preparation time itself, you need to focus on what are the client requirement, what is our day-to-day work, daily basis, what kind of task I will get, how I need to respond for that, what are the different tickets I will receive, how I need to acknowledge for that ticket, what kind of scripting we need to learn. If this issue come, how we need to troubleshoot it. If this POC, my manager is assigning to me, how I need to complete for that POC. In interview, they will be asking these kind of things because the people, when you have a 5 years experience, they will check whether you are fitting in this category or not. That is the reason I'm telling, along with the general training, along with the general concept based training, you should get the real-time projects. If you learn the real-time projects, right, easily you would be able to crack the interview.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Hari, I have another one query.
Yeah.
So I posted the Azure administrator. Can you explain what is the category Azure administrator, L1 or L2?
He will be Azure administrator. When you are talking about administrator, he is away from DevOps. Okay, since your word is mentioned like administrator, he will not be more working on your scripting part. When he is not working in the scripting part, right, you will be having access to graphical user interface only. Okay, in Azure portal, you will have to create a resources graphically. But today, okay, there is no people are using graphical user interface, very less. People are migrated to Terraform pipeline, that level it went. So when come to administrator, still it fall under L1 team only. Maybe in L1 team itself, you will be having a 3 years experience, something like that. Okay, so where you will be interacting, Azure administrator interacting every resource through graphical user interface. He will monitor all the server. He will set up the alert. If L2 team provides any script, he will just click the hit button to execute the script. The administrator will not be having a knowledge to develop his own script. If L2 team developed any pipeline, the Azure administrator just hit button to run the pipeline. He will not be having knowledge to develop his own pipeline. So that is the role of Azure administrator, where he will fall under L1 team only.
Okay, I have another one query. Now I am working in the Windows system administrator on-prem only. So I have 5+ years experience in the Windows Active Directory and administration. So now I want to move on cloud platform. So I want to choose the Azure administrator course. So it is suit for me for the entry level or cracking the interview to go through the cloud world.
Oh, very good. Very good question. Interesting. Since you have a 5 years experience with the Microsoft Azure administrator. So let's say an example. Okay.
Sorry for the interruption. Not Azure ID, Windows ID only. Windows ID.
Okay. I mistakenly pronounced. My bad. So basically, I'm not taking, Sivaramakrishnan. Maybe we'll take a ABC as a person, okay, who has 5 years of experience in Windows platform. Maybe as of today, right, he may be from 3 to 6 lakhs of package you will learn per year. Okay, per year he will be, his package would be ABC is the person, 5 years of Windows administrator is working at, 3 to 6 years of package he is getting. When he is trying to change his career to Azure, right, definitely he'll fit for this L2 team. When he is fitting for L2 team, right, the level of package, okay, L2 Azure team, the level of package, what we can expect is 8 to 12 lakhs. Okay, this is what the package in market as of today. Even you are looking for a job in India, this would be your package. Okay, as entry level, I'm telling entry level. Maybe if you go CM level 5 company or US based company and all, product based company and all, your package will be differ. I'm telling you. Okay, for 5 years experience candidate, when he is coming into that level of category, what you need to do? So as you need to get into the job, you need to learn the Azure services, then Azure DevOps tools. Okay, if you are giving priority to open source tools, right, that will be more benefited. Okay, you need to learn the concept of all these things. Then you need to involve minimum 5 POCs before attending interview. You need to involve minimum 5 POCs by your own. Then you need to familiarize with 30 to 50 day-to-day activity and solution. Okay, you need to mention all those items in your resume. Start attend the interview. You can easily crack the interview with this level of package. Okay, but key point is, along with learning all those things, only if you simply learn Azure services, right, you will not be able to clear the interview. I'll tell you honestly. You need to complete the Azure services somewhere around 10 to 15 services minimum you should learn. Okay, DevOps tools such as peak in market as of today, you can go with the Terraform. Okay, Azure pipelines. Okay, possible learn Jenkins as well, Git. Okay, and apart from that, Ansible, Docker and Kubernetes. If you knows all these DevOps tools knowledge, and along with these services and tools, you should have completed 5 POCs, 30 to 50 use cases. Okay, with that knowledge, if you go, definitely you would able to clear the interview. For completing this, you would require 2 months. In 2 months, you would able to complete all these things. You can start facing the interview.
Yeah, I have
Genuine
one doubt.
Sorry.
Hello.
Okay, carry on.
Yeah. Is certification is must or not? Azure certification.
I'll tell you. So you are, I am the person ready to write certification behalf of you. Just to pay me, extra 1,000 rupees. Okay. You are passed. Certification came in your name. You are going for an interview. You are straight away are showing certificate. Hey, Azure certified engineer. See, my name is there in certificate. Then the person, interviewer, started asking question to you. You are not able to answer anything. Will they consider you to get into a job?
No, no.
No. Think about the reverse direction. You are not certified engineer. You are very good in, Azure, all these services, all these tools and DevOps technologies. You did, many POCs. You have lots of use cases. You have a very good hands-on. You are going for an interview. Interviewer started asking question to you. You are able to answer all the questions, but you are not certified engineer. Will he give you a job or not?
Yeah, they will give a job.
That is the difference. Okay. Certification is
Okay.
optional. When it is going to help you is, so Manikandan is the person who answered all the questions. Same interview, Hariharan is another person who answered all the questions. Now interview come to the, wants to conclude who need to consider. Manikandan I need to take or Hari I need to take. In that case, if Manikandan holding a certification mean, he will give little priority for him. Okay. Other than that, right, as of today, anybody else can write a certification on your name. That is something called proxy. Okay, so it's not a matter. Try to enhance your knowledge. What I suggested, that will be more than enough to clear your interview. So also we have Azure free classes. Also we are planning nearly. I think our we are planning in the same
Yeah, last
training
week
session.
one course I started. No, last week Azure
So that's
DevOps.
last week. That is 1 month before started money, right? You're
Yeah, yes.
that one you're tracking. Yeah. That is also progressing. This is a different course. It's just a introduction to
Is
DevOps.
is it same course or a different course?
This is a different one.
Oh,
So this course is something like more into real-time project oriented. Here it's kind of a knowledge transfer, whatever I'm explaining, right? This course is somehow like real-time projects actually. The new course which we are starting. We are starting for not for the beginners. It's for the people who already work in some sectors like Windows administrator or BPO engineers or database engineer. When he wants to change their career to Azure DevOps, for them it will be like a POC based, use case based. This training is all about. Okay.
okay.
Correct.
Also, yeah, that is the plan. Also, we have a 1 week of free session also available. People can benefit. That's what correct, right, Armughamji?
Yeah. I mean, so basically whatever we are right now talking about only the free session. So the free session, if you want to join, you can join. Like we've shared the form. You can just register the form and then you will get. This is a agenda for the free session. Like we have 5 days, and you will get from basics. What is Azure DevOps? Everything from the basics you will get about Azure. For this, no prerequisite. Anybody can join and you can learn. Just registered in the link provided. I just posted in the group chat. You can register. Like the dates are tentative right now. We'll fix the date and then we'll share. Mostly it will start probably in 1 week or.
Yes, and Armughamji, like this is the free sessions content, right? What we gonna provide?
Yeah, correct. This is our content. Yeah. Like course overview, cloud computing, introduction to Microsoft Azure, everything will be there. So you can. This is just to provide an overview of Azure and DevOps and what's going to come. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Anybody has any other question, guys? I think we are a little over the time.
Is it okay?
Yeah. So Ari, I have one question. I'm not sure whether it is correct or not. So Azure and DevOps both are different. Is it correct?
Azure is the cloud provider. Okay. DevOps is
Okay. So my
different technology.
understanding is like so the person who learns Azure administration will be able to capable to create a Windows system in the VM, and he provide the system to the project team whoever they require. And what DevOps team will do, like you mentioned some kind of Terraform and Docker, right? So in real time environment, so how it will be useful in the for the organization?
The person who does not have a DevOps knowledge, what he will do, right? He will create one VM. He will deploy the application graphically. He will expose to outside world. Next time, is there any updates in their application or any new release comes in the application? Again, he will log into the VM. He'll update the code manually. He'll expose it. Okay, but if you are works in DevOps, if you know DevOps, right, what he will do from the application development phase, when the developer, okay, who developing the application, when he is pushing the final code in the repository. From that point, the DevOps engineer will create the pipeline. The pipeline will ensure capturing the latest code, putting into the any one of the server or wherever automatically in the through pipeline, then exposing to outside. The entire deployment process, right? Testing in between, we have a unit test case, anything like that for their code, security analysis in the code. Okay, everything the pipeline will take care. Using the Terraform, right? We will provision the resources. Like for deploying this application, obviously we need a one server, we need a load balancer. Okay, so those resource provision and all will be automatically taken care by the Terraform. It's one of the part of your one of the stage in your pipeline. That way, right? The data get provisioned in your environment. So you don't need to do anything manually. It'll be easy for you to manage everything through programmatic way. So deploying, creating all the resources manual, here all those things are automated with advanced way, with the security testing and the unit test cases. All those things are automated. That is the difference.
Hari, Hari, one query. Hello, Hari.
Yep.
The person one who have a strong knowledge for Azure administration with basic knowledge of are the one Terraform tool. Sorry, one DevOps tool like Terraform or Ansible. So that person can able to enter the cloud world, Azure world.
Actually, good question. Each DevOps tool has its own style and purpose. Actually, if you take mostly if you take Terraform, that is we are calling it as an infrastructure as a code tool. That Terraform help us to create the cloud resources. Actually, if you want to create a VM, if you want to create any new disk, you want to create a load balancer, I want to set up a network, the resource creation part, infrastructure setting up part taken care by Terraform. But straight away, if you take other tool, right, Docker, if you take, that is helping us to create containers. When you want to deploy your application to container, that purpose we are using Docker. Where straight away, if you take Git, that is for a version control tool. Whatever the code you are developing, you'll have to put it in the particular repository. So each and every tool has its own purpose in DevOps world, DevOps lifecycle. So having one tool means you will know the one pace of DevOps. Other thing you will not be complete. You will not complete your things actually with knowing one tool. It's not like AWS or Azure to go with anyone. Okay, if you are picking AWS or Azure, it's up to you. It's not that level of comparison. DevOps tools are differ for different purposes actually. Okay.
Okay. The thing is, I have a strong knowledge in Azure administration with basic knowledge of all DevOps tools. So can I able to enter the cloud world?
Yes, that is possible. And one thing, if you have a strong knowledge on administration, other tool, DevOps tool, you have a basic knowledge. Yeah, there are some opportunity and scopes are there. But while learning DevOps tools itself, there are some tools are very much easy for you to understand. If you are very much strong in Azure administration, there are some tools like Terraform. If you know Azure administration, all the services strongly, if you know means Terraform and all, you will be easily able to learn in within 2 to 3 days actually. Okay, by default, without knowing, you will get into deep dive in DevOps. Okay, and Docker is easy for beginner to learn. It will be very much easy, and Git is very much easy for beginner to learn. So those kind of things, right? Casually you can learn since you have a good experience, right? I'm telling you from your perspective.
Yeah, I have one question actually. Like, why you want to learn only one DevOps tool only? Like any specific reason or something? I'm just wondering.
No, Arumugam. Just I asked to Harry. So any specific Terraform to any specific DevOps tools, it is enough or not like that?
So let me answer this question also in a different way. See, what is DevOps, right? It's just you need to support the development, like ops. It's basically ops. So you need to support mostly end-to-end. Okay. So it is always better. It increases the chance of you getting a job, the more tools you learn. Like if you learn just one tool and if you learn it very well, definitely you will have a job, but it is a bit difficult compared to learning more tools, right? So that's how it is. The job is there. Yes, job is there, but the percentage, the chances of getting the job is less if you learn just one tool. That is the main thing. If you just learn basic tools, compared, which we are already taking classes in AWS DevOps, right? So if we compare those tools, if you take that and whatever we are using in real time, that you learn, then it will be easy. So that's what my opinion personally. So
Got it, Arvind. Thank you. Thanks for that advice.
sure, sure.
Hi, Hari. So the last question. I'm a little confused after this meet, right? So in order to be proficient with Azure DevOps, you have to have good knowledge on basic DevOps tools as well, right? So you have to go through all the DevOps tools like Kubernetes, Docker, Git, Ansible, and you have to be proficient in all of these tools in order to be well versed with Azure DevOps, right?
Yeah, not only in Azure DevOps, generally, in order to work with DevOps, there are some certain DevOps tools are important.
So without knowing these DevOps tools, you cannot directly jump into Azure DevOps. Say some of the institute and organizations are providing Azure DevOps course for 40 days or 35 days or 1 month duration. And I don't think that.
Yeah.
I have come across some of the institutes in Andhra.
Yeah.
I'm basically from Andhra. So I've come across some of the institutes who are taking a 45 days course for Azure DevOps.
Yeah.
I don't think all these tools can be covered within 45 days. As per this meet, as per my understanding after the whole meeting, so you have to be proficient or good with all the DevOps tools, and then you can be well good at Azure, right? In getting a job, right?
Yes. Yeah,
so without knowing the DevOps tools, and there is no possibility of diving directly into Azure DevOps and getting placed, right?
Yeah, actually, Azure has two portals. One is portal.azure.com. That portal, you will be creating your Azure related resources, cloud resources, everything. Dev.azure.com. I think your institute where you heard, they were targeting about dev.azure.com, I believe. If you go to dev.azure.com, that is a dedicated DevOps portal offered by Microsoft team, actually. Okay, Microsoft Cloud team. So if you go to dev.azure.com, they have something called Azure board, Azure repos, Azure pipelines, okay, Azure dashboards, something options are there. In Azure dashboards,
I'm sorry to stop you. So you have overall years of experience, good experience, right? So according to you, if I wanted to get into IT now, I have a couple of years of experience, around 6 years, but I have taken a break from IT. Now I just wanted to get back into IT, and I'm a little confused whether to go for AWS DevOps or Azure DevOps. So I was just browsing, and I've just come across some of our institutes, and I'm speaking to them. So in order to be getting placed quickly, as per the job market, it is really bad in wherever you go, which country it is, no matter which country it is, the job market is really bad. If you wanted to get into IT, taking Azure DevOps with DevOps tools is a good thing. And according to the salaries as well, which is getting high salary paid in Indian market, as per you said, for AWS, there are a lot of competition. Whereas when you take it to AWS, then Azure, it is very less compared to AWS. So if I take DevOps and Azure DevOps, will it be good enough to get placed with a good package?
Yep. So basically, the reality is, if you know any one cloud provider clearly, it will be easy for you to easily adapt to the other cloud provider. So see, I've now started my career as an AWS engineer. I have not separately learned Azure. Since I know AWS, I easily adopt Azure also with my career. Similarly, GCP also, I have not separately learned. On the go, whenever there's a requirement, I'll sit and learn. So to make sure, you need to have a clear understanding on any one cloud. Literally, I'm telling, only the interface going to different and the naming convention going to different. In AWS, we'll call it as an instance. In Azure, we are going to call it as a VM. Here, we'll call it as a VPC. Here, we're going to call it as a VNet. So the thing is, if you know any one cloud provider properly, it could be Azure based DevOps or AWS based, whatever, that doesn't matter at all. I strongly recommend learn any one cloud provider, learn the default DevOps services, that's fine. Addition to that, open source based DevOps tools are really matters as of today. Okay, personally, I felt the project I worked on 6-7 projects in my career. Over there, right, people are, most priority they are giving for open source tools based DevOps. Okay, instead of paying tool. So you need to learn the cloud provider, the corresponding DevOps tool. Have an idea on corresponding DevOps. So if you take to go with Azure, learn Azure corresponding DevOps tools, and consider providing your options to open source based tools. Okay, that will be more benefits to you.
Yeah,
And
I also
are
agree.
you
I want to,
guys-
second the point what Hari has mentioned. Yeah, so I also seen many people from our training itself. Like many people learned AWS and they placed in Azure. They learned Azure and then placed in AWS. So they said, okay, I got an offer, and they said thank you and all right. Then they said, okay, which cloud? Then they said AWS, but they learned Azure in the with the us. So that's it. It's really easy. In terms of like services names are different. That's what I see. Basically, I'm not a cloud engineer or something. I'm a data engineer. But as looking at the trends and looking at the training, that what I am also seeing that. So one cloud, you learn it properly, and then you can just with the reference you can learn. Like you learn AWS properly with the reference you can learn Azure. So that's what happened. And we have one more
Thank
question
you,
in the
guys.
chat.
Thanks for
So
the.
yeah, sorry.
I've just come across your Tamilboomi website. I mean YouTube today. I just wanted to know: is this an institute that you are carrying out? You teach AWS DevOps or Azure DevOps? Is there any training
Yes.
program that you are taking
Yeah.
for online?
Yeah, Mani. So we are, like we are taking, definitely we are a training institute online, and we are basically a knowledge sharing platform. And we started training, and we have started with the big data, and later we started with AWS DevOps, and it is very, popular and very on-demand service. Like many people are getting placed, and Sudarshan he also joined. He's the AWS DevOps, trainer, and we are taking training, and in our website you can see what other we are providing. Yeah. Yeah, yes, somebody
So
starting.
it's Tamilboomi.com, right? Your
Yeah, it's
website. In order to
tamilboomi.com,
reach you.
and just go in the courses, you'll be able to see it.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Basically, yeah, that's the main thing. But course is not our main thing anyway. Our main thing is to share the knowledge. So that's why we're having the weekly meetup, everything. We're trying to share the knowledge. Okay, and Arun has one question. I think VB is unmuted. Let me mute him. Yeah, VB, can you mute? So Arun has one question. Let's go to the question that looks interesting. So it's about money means interesting, right? So as for the current market, which is better career in terms of getting higher package, DevOps or software development? So what do you say, Hari?
Yeah, according to me, earlier there was myth where software engineers are earning a lot, support engineers are earning some more or less. But when DevOps coming to the market, right, I would say DevOps engineers are equally getting salary as like software developers. Because when you go for a company, almost they both of them are having a same designation. Product-based companies and all, they don't keep separate designation for developer, separate designation for DevOps folks. Same designation only. Even DevOps engineer also getting software developer, senior software developer, something like that. So according to them, which designation you fall under, what is your scale in that company? All of them getting a same package.
Yeah, that is true. I also agree with that. But one of my perspective would be, yes, it depends on how good a DevOps engineer or how good software developer are you. It depends on that
Knowledge
actually.
matters.
Yeah, that matters really, because you see, if you're a coder and you just work for Google, obviously you get a higher package, right? Like just in between, you just think in between, like you go for that product-based company, then you get a package. So yeah, in terms of salary, more jobs are there in AWS DevOps and Azure DevOps, like cloud DevOps. So you can target it is having kind of less coding, not entirely coding, and you need to think more, and then it has more jobs right now also. So cloud is everywhere right now. That's what I can confidently say, whether it's AWS, DevOps, or GCP. Without cloud, nobody moves, and in some time it's going to come in a way like without AI, nothing is going to be there. So that is our also next target. So what do you think, Hari? Like how much AI, Gen AI adoption is happening in Azure world? Because they are the basic of this, right?
Yeah, Azure
ChatGPT.
giving more priority for AI. That's what I heard. Even many of the AI application which is running, right? Those are backend. They are running from Azure. That's what I heard. And they have lots of invested for AI related thing. Future definitely we can expect good comeback and good scope for Azure in terms of AI.
Sure, definitely.
So what is Azure? We all know Azure is one of the leading cloud provider actually. How many of you knows here? Before Microsoft Azure, there is something called Windows Azure. Earlier, when Azure Microsoft came into cloud service into market, there is something called Windows Azure. Anyone heard about Windows Azure? I think nobody.
No.
Because it's very, very old actually. When you take somewhere around 2015, 2014, that period, right? There is nothing called, Microsoft Azure. There is something called Windows Azure. What does mean by Windows Azure? There is a classic portal and a classic cloud service which has been offered by Microsoft actually. When they introduced market, right? The particular Windows cloud, it's more or less like Windows mobile operating system. If you look at that interface and all, it will be very much, dull. It's very hard to, user to understand the infrastructure. It will be looks like that. After that only people, on that Windows Azure, they had only more Microsoft related products, which means like Windows servers only we can provision as a virtual machine, and we will be having option to have a Microsoft SQL only, that as a database. Okay, almost all their products, right? All their Microsoft product only will be there in Windows Azure. So after that, with that standard, they cannot withstand and they cannot compete with AWS, because on that particular time, right? AWS has a very good scale already. It's reached a very good scale. Straight away, GCP also giving very good competition and tough competition to AWS. So with that, we cannot survey with this Windows Azure. That is the reason Microsoft introduced there is something called Microsoft Azure Cloud. Okay, after 2016, 2017 and all, we were migrating whatever the resources we had in Windows Azure, right? We are migrating to Microsoft Azure actually. Okay, so in Microsoft Azure, what is the specialty? The first specialty coming to other cloud providers. Okay, maybe it's better I can share my screen. Hope you all can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay. So coming to the betterment of Azure, how it's better than other cloud provider. Basically, when they have started, right, as of today, right, if you ask me, there are more regions and availability zones with close to 60 regions and availability zones with Microsoft Azure as of today. So you guys know what is region, what is availability zone? Anybody does not know region availability zone here? Anyone know what is region? What is availability zone? Okay. Maybe. So region in the sense and availability zone in the sense, we all know basically cloud is virtualized data center. Okay. Instead of we are managing physical server, physical storage, physical networking devices, we are renting the resource from some cloud providers. Azure, AWS, GCP, from those cloud providers, right? We are renting the resources. So literally, cloud is nothing but a virtual data center. We all know. In that virtual data center, I currently speaking from India, Chennai location. Maybe if you take Armugam, he is located in USA. If you take other guys, right, Dinesh, let's say an example, he is sitting in UK. The Ganesan, he's currently attending the meeting from Singapore. So people are from different locations. When I'm deploying my application into cloud, so it's not sure my users will access my application from various sources, various locations. So latency is matter. So Azure is literally providing 60 regions. I mean 60 locations, they have their presence. Physical, actually, if you go take any cloud provider, backend, they'll manage the data center. Azure literally managing 60 countries, backend, across the world, across the globe. They are maintaining 60 data centers, not a data center, 60 locations. Under that location, right, each location, each region, right, they have somewhere around 4 availability zone minimum. Okay, 4 to 5 availability zone will be there. You can calculate. So availability zone in the sense, these are the location Azure has presence. So we can go to those locations, we can deploy our server, we can deploy our database application, we can deploy our storage, we can keep our data, we can process our data, whatever we want, we can do it. More than that, right? These many, availability zones present. Availability zones are exactly the data center which resides on this region, So if you take other cloud provider, AWS or GCP, they does not have this much global presence actually. Okay. That is the main reason. High availability standpoint, latency standpoint. As of today, many clients are thinking Azure is better option to go. Okay, that is the first reason, guys. So since I am a multi-cloud architect, I used to interact with the clients actually. So in the place of taking decision, whoever migrating from on-premises to cloud, right? We'll be asking the client's requirement, and we will provide a suggestion which are the clouds are better for their requirement. In that, right, we will give various options. Then that this regions and availability zone playing a crucial role as of today. Okay, because today client will have a business in this particular location. Tomorrow they may expand it. In that case and all, if they have a various regions in different location, these many 60 different options available mean definitely they will go for these kind of providers only. Where if you take AWS, they have a 26 regions only. Where if you take GCP, they have a 33 regions only. So almost double the number of regions they are maintaining with Azure. That is the first reason why Azure is better than other cloud providers. Okay, so feel free to raise your hand or stop me if you have any questions, so that we can discuss on more in that, and we can even
we can post in the chat also.
Yep, we can even post your question in the chat. Okay, fine. Followed by, right, we do have a multi-cloud compatibility. Okay, followed by we have a multi-cloud compatibility. What does it mean, multi-cloud compatibility? As of today's, if you take any real environment, live project, okay, people are don't want to rely or don't want to depend with any one cloud service provider. They are more eagerly, right, to have their visibility in. Okay, they more eagerly to wait different cloud provider. They want to explore different cloud providers, which means people will have a AWS, people will have Azure. Okay, like that. We can ignore. Yeah. What is the discussion I was telling is every client, they are showing interest to keep their data in multi-cloud, more than one cloud. The reason is they don't want to give the dependency to one cloud provider. Okay, if you take an example, imagine I know Tamilboomi High Tech is one of the organization. They are planning to deploy their services, everything in on top of Azure. If something goes in backend, Azure data center is down. Okay, maybe out of 60 region, I choose the Mumbai region is my nearest one. So I'm keeping my application deployed in Mumbai region. Imagine my Mumbai region goes down. So I need to wait for Azure to give me update. Azure support engineer will tell me, hey, hurry, just wait for 1 day. I'll try to recover your service. After waiting 1 day, he will come and say, sorry, unfortunately, it's getting extending. Can you give me 1 more day so that we'll recover your service? So there may be a chances. I'm telling anything like a disaster, anything like that, right? We cannot completely rely on one cloud provider. So more dependency with one cloud provider. So organization, they don't want to happen that thing. That is the reason they are going with multi-clouds. Okay, that is the reason they are going with a multi-cloud. What end of day, even if you are paying Azure, same thing, I'm going to pay it for AWS also, or I'm going to pay it for GCP also. Though the client preference are increased. They are trying to give they are planning to increase the multiple cloud availabilities actually. Okay, so sharing the data, deploying your application into multiple clouds, right? That will be easy for people to reduce the dependency. Okay, in that case, when people are prefer to use, multiple cloud, Azure giving a more opportunity for everybody to sync with multiple cloud actually. Okay, I'll tell you an example. There are some clients still I'm having in my environment, guys. There are some cloud still I'm having in my environment. They are private data and confidential data, right? Still they are keeping it in on-prem actually. on-premises data center. They are not completely migrated to cloud actually. They have a mindset called you want multi-cloud only, right? So I don't want to give complete dependency with multiple public cloud provider. One, I'll keep it as an on-prem private. Okay, one let it be in Azure. One let it be in Azure. That way he is planning actually. That's way he is planning. Understand? So in that case, right, Azure has a multi-cloud compatibility in terms of connectivity, in terms of technical support. It will be easy for us to expand our scope to other cloud provider on premises as well. And in Azure, we have one feature, guys, actually. If your server is present in on-prem or Hyper-V, okay, or VMware, ESXi, okay. So any kind of these kind of, on-prem or any server, Azure providing option to take a backup. Okay, all these servers, if your server present in this location, they are providing option. They are providing option to take a backup actually. They are providing option to take a backup. Okay. So even though you are running your servers in on-prem or Hyper-V or VMware ESXi, in Azure, you can configure the backup. Future, if anything happened to this physical data center, right, you can spin up a new VM on top of Azure actually. Okay, these kind of multi-cloud compatibility and backup policy, backup plan also suggestion given by Azure. That is the reason. So these kind of compatibility, right, which is usually not there in the other cloud providers actually. Okay, look at this, somebody playing in our screen. We will erase that. But if you take AWS and other cloud providers, right, these kind of options and features are not there. Okay.
I think one question
we
is
got
there
some
in
chats.
chat.
Yeah, we will respond to their chats actually. Just curious to know, AWS is being market leaders, why didn't limit themselves to 20 plus data centers? Okay, so if you go to AWS, right, actually, last almost 2 to 3 years, I'm looking into AWS actually. They are in a plan of expanding their regions, but still almost last 3 years, they are telling like they are going to expand their regions. So expanding the regions into multiple location would be many benefits for the users like us, whoever using their cloud service. Actually, AWS data center is AWS regions is in single location, they have a wide space actually, but a number of countries is very less. Okay, that's how they are expanding. But in terms of latency, in terms of putting our edge server in all the location, content delivery network, in terms of making a content delivery network and all, if you have a global presence, okay, if you have a global presence in various location, various different countries, that will give a more confident and easy for content delivery and all those things. Okay, hopefully by comparing Azure, AWS also started expanding their scope actually. In next year, 2025, we may expect to grow AWS. AWS expect to grow 6 to 7 more regions actually. But at present, this is the case. Okay.
Yeah, more questions you guys can post in the chat, and if anybody wants to, talk, you can raise your hand, and we'll unmute you. Thank you.
Yeah, that will be good. All right. So followed by in Microsoft, right, one unique functionality is there where not usually there in other cloud. There's something called DR service. Anyone know what is DR? Anyone heard about DR? I got some message. Okay, we'll come back to the question. Anyone knows about DR?
You can bring in the chat, or you can raise your hands.
Yeah, it's common term, right? When you work in IT.
Disaster recovery.
Yes. Yeah, disaster recovery, correct. So disaster recovery, when you take Azure, right, they have a inbuilt, okay, services actually. They have a inbuilt service, something called DR. Where if you go to other cloud providers, okay, so where if you go other cloud providers, right, they have a various, locations, okay, they have a various locations. You need to manually configure the backup configuration within the cloud itself. For example, in US region, you have your primary region, all your applications are running in US region, okay, where if you go manually, you need to configure a, similar setup Okay, maybe in Singapore region. So whatever the applications are there, you need to manually take a backup, or you need to put some automation in background. So that automation will bring it to your, DR region. That way, if any outage happened in your primary region, right? So you need to run the script, you need to switch over. So our application will be started running from your DR region. That's how the actual setup is there with AWS or GCP. Where if we go to Azure, right, they have a dedicated service available, disaster recovery service vault. So what it does, when you enables this DR service, right, whatever the primary resources you have, it automatically start failover. I mean, automatically start sync. Initial process is syncing from your primary region to secondary region. It will automatically start to sync. Whenever, whenever there is an outage in your primary region, simply go to the DR service, hit the button like start failover. So failover will immediately happen. Your application will be start accessible from your for your clients from your secondary. I mean your DR region. This service is lots of accurate, by the way. Okay, and you don't need to spend your much time on DR, where they have automated everything as one of the service. Very, very handy tool. The people who are working on Azure, they really love to do that. The people who mainly working on architect perspective, who working on backup and strategy and the disaster recovery, because disaster recovery is one of the headache tasks, actually hectic task. Okay, we need to test the DR. We need to test the script if you're doing manually. Since it's provided by Azure, all the documentation material, everything has been supported by Azure. Since it's official Azure service, right? If something not goes well, also we can reach out to Azure technical team. They will help us to get it fixed. Until in the case where AWS and GCP, if you have a manual script of taking backup to DR region, if something not goes well as expected, even if you reach out to your technical team of AWS or GCP support, they will not be able to support your customized coding. Makes sense. This is official Azure service actually. Okay, where none other cloud providers are not providing. Okay, so what is the? I will go back to the questions. For DR service using prepaid region.
Okay, first, can you read the question loudly? Is Azure how many, so that people will be able to understand?
Yes. In Azure, how many data centers are present in India? Actually, in India, we have it in Chennai, okay, Hyderabad, Mumbai. Those were the locations, right? Currently, we have it in specifically in India. Okay, that's what I heard. Available with the 3 zones. Each regions we have with 3 zones. Mainly from Mumbai, Hyderabad we have, in Chennai also we have. Second question, for DR service, Azure using pad region. Yes, correct. Pad region in the sense, one will be your primary region, wherever you have your servers, database, okay, network, all those things will be in primary region. We will be choosing, it's according to our requirement, according to our need, we can choose our pad region. Okay, that is considered as a DR region. Imagine you are having your application, everything, entire data center setup, in Azure, in Mumbai region. You can even, choose, UK region, one of the UK region for your backup. Okay, that way, that recovery service vault will automatically sync all your data from your primary region to secondary region. Okay. What is the cost difference between on-prem versus cloud? Example, say my company uses DB like SQL Server today. All my data resides there. How much would it cost extra to upgrade it to Azure? Tool like ADF will cost us more. So basically coming to costing, right? Every cloud provider as of today, they gave you a billing calculator. Okay. Why? Each cloud costing, right? It varies from location to location. If you are using on SQL Server in India region, okay, which by selecting Mumbai, that cost is somehow different than if you use that same server, same spec, same configuration in US region. So for every cloud provider, they provide, there is something called billing calculator. Simply Google it with the billing calculator. They will be giving you a data. Comparing your on-premises, how would differ? In on-premises, first you need a physical data center. When you have a physical data center, you need to buy a server, physical server, you need to buy it. Okay, you need to purchase the physical server. The server costs around now somewhere around 10 lakh minimum for production. I'm telling, okay, it would be costing along with your storage almost 4 processor. We will consider. We need to configure RAID. Okay, so for high availability, non-premises, we need to have a proper communication. So usually we'll use fiber channel for data transport. So all those things, right, will take somewhere around 5 lakhs approximate will take. Okay, so after that we need to look into database license. If you are using open source database, fine. If you are using any Oracle or Microsoft SQL, that kind of database, right, you need to consider buying a license for that. Okay, apart from that, for data center to manage that physical server, you need to have one hardware engineer always be there and present. If something happened, the server is not booting, something failure, hard disk is failure, processor is failure, memory is failure. So the person hardware engineer have to take an action. Where straight away, if you compare cloud, you don't need to worry about investment. You don't need to buy any server. You need to don't need to worry about your license purchase. You don't need to worry about hardware engineer manager. So how much hours you are running your server, it totally depends on that. If you are running, it's like an electricity bill. In India, how much we are how we'll paying an electricity bill. If you consume for 5 units, you will pay only a bill for 5 units. If you are consuming for 100 units electricity, you will pay monthly bill for 100 units. Similarly, in Azure and any cloud providers, number of hours you are using their resources, you're gonna get charged for that. You will be paying for that. Okay, so again, that particular costing, right, depends on the location, how much hours you are running, and those things you will get it from the billing calculator. One thing about invest anything, everything available, you can get it monthly. We can pay as you go. Okay. Can we use Azure DR if our infrastructure deployed in AWS? No, that option not yet implemented. If you have your environment present in Azure, we can use Azure DR service. The cross DR functionality not yet enabled. For AWS, as of today, we are going with a customized scripting way only. Please let us know about Azure administrator job vacancy and advice on this after the session. Definitely. Why we need to learn Azure. In that case, along with that job opportunity, I'm going to talk about that. Okay, maybe in another 15 minutes. Okay. What is the job available position in Azure platform? Yeah, sure. That also I'll explain. Okay, along with that, which I'll coming. Yes, Shivramakrishna. All right, guys. So apart from that DR, right, we do have few, very few interesting stuff when it comes of why Azure is better than our cloud service providers. Okay. So if you have any existing Microsoft licenses, okay, if you have any existing, okay, Microsoft licenses, you can integrate that with your Azure. If, for example, you have a Windows server license you purchased long back, okay, you purchased for 6 years, 10 year or long run lifetime, or you have a bunch of license you purchased for Microsoft SQL, DB. Those licenses, right, can be used in, okay, can be used in your Azure cloud also, where if you take, other cloud providers, something like, other cloud provider like AWS or GCP, you don't have any option for that. Mostly, right, people who are migrating to cloud, people who ever, working in on-premises, right, they are getting migrating to cloud. So if they are planning to go with the AWS or GCP, whatever the licenses they have, right, they cannot reuse it. In such case, in any case, if the people are, migrating to Azure, they have opportunity, one more opportunity to reuse that licenses. So that cost, that will be adjusted in your billing cycle. In every month, your billing cycle, right? The licensing cost will be adjusted. Okay. So other than this, right, we have another great option. People who are using Office 365, people who are using on-prem environment, earlier for mail communication, they have an Exchange server, Microsoft Exchange. So even we have open source tools also available. Later, right, today, Microsoft is providing one common, location. There is something called Office 365. In this Office 365, right? As of if you have one email ID, one account with Office 365, you can even access, share drive. Okay. You will have access to your teams. I mean, for group, official communication, chat application, and you would be able to write, MS Office tool license. I mean, which means to say, MS Word, MS Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, all those things, a license you will get, and the mail along with that, you will get a mail. Lots of things are there. If you purchase Office 365 license, cloud storage. This is cloud storage. If you have a single license, okay, you would be able to manage all those things. Also, this particular organization, even you are using on-prem based database, they are all plain on-prem based application you are still using in your organization. For email communication, right? People are nowadays prefer to go with Office 365. In your environment before migrating to cloud, earlier if you use Office 365, it will be very much compatible to migrate your things to Azure actually. Why I'm telling like that? In Azure, whatever the credential you used for Office 365, same thing you will use for your shared drive, Teams chat, Microsoft Office, licensing, email licensing, everything you will use this particular Office 365 email login, username and password only. Same thing you can integrate easily with your Microsoft Azure. You can continually use, you can use authenticate using that Azure account. You can start using. It will be very much compatible. And this Microsoft Azure, right? There is some, they are provided there, they have a service, something called earlier Azure Active Directory. And now they are calling it as a Entra. I don't know why they changed. I am last couple of months, I'm seeing this is an Entra ID. Okay, earlier the service name is Azure Active Directory. Now it's calling it an Entra ID. So they are providing Fed authentication, federation. Okay, what is the meaning of Fed authentication? When you have an Office 365 username and password, it'll be easy for you to integrate with other applications authentication. Right? In on-prem and all, people will use Active Directory alone to authenticate and authorize your user and giving necessary permission. We'll have a Active Directory, right? Same thing they have migrated to Azure Cloud also. Okay. Yeah, of course. Even AWS has directory service. GCP also has directory service, but they are not in the level of what Azure is providing. So in Azure, you can easily integrate your Office 365 license with Azure. Same credential, you can make use of login to Azure. By integrating your Azure, right? They are providing Azure Active Directory Entra ID. Here you can create federation service. With the federation service in your environment, if you have any other different application, you have any other, maybe you are working in TCS or you are working in Wipro, any company, you will have a daily portal, your HRMS portal to log in, check-in, check-out you will do for attendance, or leave you will apply, right? Leave apply portal, your appraisal portal. Okay, your appraisal portal. So all those things, right? We'll be able to, more about, we will be all those things, right? They will put it over there. Okay. In that case, this federation login will be very much recommended for authenticating other applications. So this Fed authentication and Azure Active Directory, Entra ID services and all, very much efficient in Microsoft Azure. Okay. So these were the things, guys, why I said people are it'll be very much easy to adopt from on-premises to Azure environment. Okay. Now we can move on.
And yeah, I think we already crossed the time. If anybody has any question, we can, continue, or we will close the class. And I think, Sivaram, I think hope you are in our WhatsApp community group. So we conduct this kind of sessions every week, like Saturday or Sunday evening, so that it's kind of a relaxed weekend evening session. So you can feel free to join. This week we took this topic, and next week we'll change some other topic, something like that. So yeah, if any other question, we'll take one last question and then we'll close this one. No, thanks everyone. Thanks very much. Okay, and I just let me repost the form. So as I mentioned, like we'll be having 1 week of free session in Azure from basics to intermediate. Like if you would like to join, you can fill out the form, and that's pretty much it. And thanks a lot, Hari, for your time, and like explanation is really good, and Thanks for taking your time out, on the Saturday evening. It is, I know how important it is for everybody. Thanks a lot, and yeah, we'll meet again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.